Hello, and welcome to my second theme park review. This review is on Disneyland in Anaheim, California. In my opinion, the park is amazing and very nostalgic. It is also where I learned to love theme parks and roller coasters. There are so many good things about Disneyland in my opinion that it's really hard to put them all into one video. Because of that, unfortunately, I can only go over Disneyland Park today and not Disney's California Adventure. First, let's go over the park history. Disneyland Park has a very interesting and unique history, and this is partially because it opened all the way back in 1955. It has experienced many major expansions, including New Orleans Square in 1966, the upgrade to Fantasyland in 1983, and Galaxy's Edge in 2019. The park was originally designed by Walt Disney and was made to be a place where kids and parents can have fun together. The original design for the park heavily inspired a lot of other theme parks, including Dreamworld in Australia. The original park only had Main Street, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, Adventureland, and Frontierland, but as the park grew bigger, it added more major attractions like Matterhorn bobsleds and It's a Small World. Unfortunately, Walt Disney passed away in 1966, but that did not stop the attractions, because they continued to add more rides like Space Mountain, Haunted Mansion, and Indiana Jones Adventure. Since then, the park has continued to grow and always will. Now, let's move on to the park layout. Disneyland uses a hub-and-spoke design for its main layout, which makes it really easy to get from land to land. When you first enter the park, you will enter Main Street USA, which is just a long straight road with shops on either side, and the iconic Disneyland Castle at the end. Right in front of the castle is the main hub, where you can get access to Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, Frontierland, and Adventureland. To the right of the hub is Tomorrowland, where you will find Autopia, Space Mountain, and Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. Straight forward past the hub is Fantasyland, where you will find all the classic Fantasyland dark rides, including Peter Pan and Mr. Toad, and past that is Mickey's Toontown, where you will find Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway and the other kiddie rides at Disneyland. To the left of the hub are Frontierland and Adventureland, which have rides like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Jungle Cruise, and Indiana Jones Adventure. Then past that, you get even more lands like Bayou Country, New Orleans Square, and Galaxy's Edge that give you rides like Rise of the Resistance, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Haunted Mansion. And that's basically the gist of the layout. There's endless places you could walk and find. There's so much more I could have covered, but unfortunately I should keep this short so editing won't be a nightmare. Next is the park atmosphere, and I was going to have a friend of mine do this, but unfortunately we couldn't figure out scheduling and he wasn't able to complete his script. In my personal opinion, I think the atmosphere at Disneyland Park is unmatched. The ambiance from the music and all the sounds that are around you, it just makes the park feel good. It's really hard to describe without you being there in person and experiencing it for yourself, but it is a joy to be there, and that all comes from the park atmosphere. Now, I want to go over a brief section about the food at Disneyland, because it is way better than most other theme park food. Although, it may get a bit pricey. While you have the Disneyland classics of ice cream bars, Mickey pretzels, and churros, you can also find a lot of unique food and a lot of different cuisines because of how many restaurants Disneyland has. However, a lot of the times, the best food comes in a pretty significant price of sometimes upwards of $60 per person, and that can get pretty high when you have a lot of people. Although there are three that I would personally recommend that are not nearly as expensive that still have pretty good food. Those three being the Red Rose Tavern, Rancho del Zocalo, and the Hungry Bear Restaurant Barbecue Jamboree. Finally, we've reached my favorite section to talk about, the rides. Now, there are a lot of rides at Disneyland, so I'll only be covering a select few of the top-tier attractions. There are also a lot of technologically complex rides there that are just stunning to ride and experience for yourselves. The first ride I want to talk about is Space Mountain. Space Mountain is a relatively high speed for Disneyland, low speed for anywhere else roller coaster that is completely pitch black. I personally really like it for its pretty whippy turns and its incredible soundtrack. Next, I want to talk about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is a high-speed roller coaster that features 3 chainless and a bunch of sharp turns that make the ride feel out of control. Then there is Indiana Jones Adventure, one of the best dark rides in all of Disneyland, and something that I just have to ride every time I'm there because of how incredible the theming is and how thrilling the experience is. Then there is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It is an amazing water attraction, and even if you do get really wet, it is worth it for the drop alone. Then there is Matterhorn Bobsleds. It is the oldest roller coaster at Disneyland and the oldest steel tubular roller coaster in the world. It is also one of the jankiest rides at Disneyland and is generally seen as a quote-unquote backbreaker, but I personally find it to be really fun and enjoyable. Unfortunately, since I have to keep the video short, I can't talk about rides like Rise of the Resistance, Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan's Flight, Haunted Mansion, or any of the other fantastic rides that are at Disneyland. And I do just want to mention this, there are plenty of incredible non-ride attractions like Tom Sawyer's Island, and even the new show they just added last year, as of the time I'm making this, that has a stunning Walt Disney animatronic. Overall, the park may be a little bit pricey, but the experience makes up for it in the end. It is a park that I feel like a lot of people should try to go to at least once, and a lot of other people who enjoy theme parks more than they enjoy amusement parks should go to it more times to get the full experience. And that is my full review of Disneyland. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye-bye.